Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. Um, eh, so. Got kind of kept up last night, again, like I do often. So it's like, just another day in paradise. So, yeah, there's Dr. Sean Baker. Or he no he his YouTube is Sean Baker MD. Sorry, I just bumped my desk. Sorry. Um, YouTube channel uh was suspended for 2 weeks for medical misinformation. How do you like that? He's not an anti-vaxxer. He openly tells people, he's had to have vaccines. He was over in Afghanistan and around the world. When you fly, you have to have certain ones, and his whole life in the United States and school and whatever, and trying to get my hair to behave. It's not behaving today. But anyway, no, behave. So, um, yeah, it's pretty sickening that he can't even express his opinion, a second opinion that's contrary to what the media is pushing, the mainstream media, um, that he would have his YouTube channel suspended for 2 weeks for speaking out against. I think the one that really got the establishment is that uh, giving it to that it hasn't been tested enough and giving it to little babies. Now they're thinking under 5 years of age, and first it was 12 and then it lowered the age, younger and younger all the time. It's like, yeah, when you can't talk and you're trained. I mean, he studied for 13 years, and you never um stop studying in science. Science never is definitive. God's science is definitive, but mankind's could never possibly be. There's always questions. Whenever you think something is a definite, you can definitely probably see another angle to whatever the situation may be in science. There's always an alternative, well, or I should say, most of the time, there's an alternative method to any approach concerning health, so, and those entail having second opinions. When the hell have you ever gone to a doctor? Have you heard anybody that, like, if they were diagnosed with cancer or whatever, that their own doctors will tell them, we suggest you get a second opinion? A lot of times they'll have their colleagues in the same hospital or clinic come in and to verify a second opinion. I had that done with some allergies, um, infections I was having. I had this one woman practitioner call in MD to verify her findings, and that's a normal procedure. This was the first time that I've ever heard of in history, in my personal remembrance that I can remember on this planet, that the medical professionals that are still employed within this lie, my opinion, which is getting to be, I understand a little bit, it zip it, you know, you gotta zip it. Nah, I'm not gonna. and the rest of where one person has to be quiet, the truth will come out through somebody else. You can't take us all down. It's time you quit the shenanigans because we're not buying it. More often than not, people are going to walk away from the pressure that they're when, as soon as they see there's other people in this world, like, yes, we are going to work together. We are not going to have a choice. They're putting us in the position to have to choose a side in society. The ones that will buy what mainstream paid officials are saying and the so called authorities, or the people that are their friends and neighbors and loved ones, and also have those abilities of medical professionals and manufacturers of things. And that's another thing they wanted to take down, is people like even limit things like, imagine there's countries in the world that will limit somebody owning a machine that can fabricate metal. Why? Because they would be able to build machines that could help people, and they could fabricate machines that could um, potentially ostracize their side of the situation. People that could literally make it on this planet without any outside help from um, corporate America, separate of corporate America. And that's the last thing they want. What's the big deal? You want to do what you want to do on this planet? So do we. This is our planet. And guess what? We're going to do what we want to do on this planet too. As long as it's in the eyes of God, not unlawful, those are my laws. So I don't care what anybody says about any of this. I mean, when it comes right down to it, because in Colorado yesterday, they snuck in a bill. They passed a law where they can come in people's property, take your homes, take if you have weapons, whatever, take all your furnishings, your water supply, your livestock, destroy your home, do anything they want to you, your home, your property, if you rebel against it. And keep in mind, this is in a little community um that they pushed it through without the people really realizing what was written on the bill. The bill was handed down, um what their exact words were from the commissioners down to say, like, or the higher up in their local government to the next level down, and passed in their county, just in a bill, like a 30-page bill that wasn't examined by the people. So this was put into law that they can come in. And what that is mostly about, what the homeowners were saying, and they were down, not rioting, but trying to talk some sense into their neighbors and the people that work in the government. Um, Look, if you take my water off my land to support uh, your water parks and spas and stuff in Denver, my garden isn't going to grow. My livestock isn't going to thrive. And then that puts them dependent on the state again, where they once were independent. They're making it so the little person that has a hobby farm or a bigger farm can't succeed in this world. That's some evil bullcrap right there. You know, I don't think that's going to fly around here. I don't think it's going to fly up around there either. There's a lot of rebels out in that area. I know there's a lot of rich homeowners, like there's a lot of, like even we have a log house up across the street from us that was built by well-to-do people. And I see it for sale off and on, but my suspicions are that that truly is not for sale. It's just sitting there for a retreat out of the city when the shit hits the fan. It's my opinion. But we'll see. You know, there's some kind of idiotic neighbors around here, and that's, I mean, we call them idiots, you know, because when you move out into the country and you really don't know what you're doing, um, you can appear to be a little off kilter, crazy. See, now somebody in a city might think I'm off kilter and crazy too, but um, I don't call it crazy that I can actually pound my own well and put a cistern pump on it or an electric one and produce water all by myself like I have. So I don't call that crazy, you know? And people that can fabricate metal and work on vehicles and machinery and those type of things, or nursing or seamstress or talents, when if you can grow things, if you can, and if you can do all of these things, you're pretty valuable. Then what really is crazy um going along with whoever says what, and they want your money. We want your money to tell you that we're going to destroy everything you've worked for your entire life. We're going to destroy what you want to leave to your children and your children's children. Land that's passed on through families and hard work. Not the ones that have connived and taken all the goods and materials off the planet. Usurped money from the whole country and then want to write laws that are unlawful towards the people that built this country? Are you out of your mind? I'm not going to sit by and let this happen. I think people are going to really talk about getting up in arms. I don't see them getting violent like for no reason or nothing. I see people trying to push their way on somebody's land and them being prepared to deal with the shit. Because guess what? There's some of us out here that have been preparing for this moment all our lives. As Phil Collins would say, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. So, with the grace of God, it won't get as nasty as they want it to get. But I surely know there's way more of us. And yes, they have armies and they have militaries. And say what you will, but one placed projectile, well placed by what some people in this world have capabilities, can totally help deplete their army. And then that brings to mind, and I gotta ask, any police officers, National Guard, military from anywhere in the world, are you prepared to kill the people that have always paid your salary religiously, paying our taxes, never missing anything, having money taken out of our paychecks for 50 years or more? Are you prepared to step up and try and hurt these people and take what they worked so hard for all their lives? Mothers like me that raise their children alone a lot with no vehicle, walking miles and miles just to feed your babies. Do you think that I'm going to sit here and let somebody push me around in my own home, on my own land. And that brings to a point another thing. How many of you out there that don't own land? And you can say, well, it was cheaper than, hey, we paid for our place many times over. Getting a home we equity loan to and another mortgage just to help other people survive. And this is a true thing. We paid for it more than once, 3 times, as a matter of fact, the value of which it is to help other people, not just ourselves. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, because that's a fact. So, how many of you youngsters out there are jabbering on about, hey, we can't afford our own place or whatever? Did you start with a tiny little trailer? Did you ever at once go without, and I'm seriously talking, hungry, and go to work and save your money for a down payment on anything ever? Maybe a stereo. But there are possibilities still to be had to buy things in life, especially in smaller towns. But then you give up a lot of comforts, inconveniences, but you live lesser, you save more, and you eat a lot poorer. Then you save your money to get yourself in that place. And these are still possibilities. So I'm asking the younger people in this world, or older people, when you don't own your own home, are you a little salty, a little bit bitter, perhaps, that other people actually do have things and you don't? And you want to blame inflation in society? Well, don't blame the older ones that actually worked hard to get their own. You have no idea the extremes I went through in my life to keep what I have, you know? And that isn't even an issue with me, believe it or not, because I'm on the verge of walking away from everything and just saying, this shit, you know? And believe me, when I talk, I usually do what I say. There's going to have to be a miracle from God when I get my Social Security coming up here shortly to stop me from walking. So I love the property. I can't stand who I'm around. I love them. Just can't. I don't like him. It's the way it is. He isn't the person he pretended to be. So, and we'll just leave it there. That's his problem. I don't care. I'm going to go on and have a happy day, even though everything in my life is not happy. But I have happy things like, oh, the trees or the kitties or whatever, you know. But that doesn't make a whole entire life. That's a little empty. But really, it does come down to a lot of people in the cities don't own land, and they may not care. They may even live like paycheck to paycheck, and they're accustomed to it, or they don't care, or that's how they're trying to push the whole of society into these cities to be dependent on them. It isn't just because I knew the game plan when I was young. I never could stand the city. It made me sick. Say, for instance, we would go up north or something and then come back to the city, and I'd have to go to school the next day or something, and I'd just be physically ill from the pollution, from the amount of people, the negativity, because it does outweigh the good. It does everywhere you go, But in the city, the feeling of it is weighing on me, so yeah. But I really do think it's disgusting what they're doing. And I am, some days I'm not, I'm not mad, you know, but I can get mad. If they come and try and mess with me, I'm probably going to get mad. Maybe not right away. I'll try and talk from one person to another rationally and logically. But if that fails, God help everybody in the situation because there's no guarantees from then on out. What the state and the government has done to me my entire life and everybody else that they don't even realize, I'm not going to back down, not even close. And I know there's millions and millions of people just in the United States that feel exactly like I do. So I'm gonna let you go. I might be back. I heard a problem just pull up in my yard. Peace. I'll be back, I think.